All right, news coming in here onto the Rokani Media Football confirms to us that Gyokeres' agent is going to be at the Emirates today as Arsenal plays Real Madrid, and that is really a very big story for you guys to know. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as don't miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. This comes after we got a very huge story coming in through from the man himself, known as a very big story coming in through from the man known as David Austin, that Andre Bartha, the man at Arsenal who is now a replacement of Edu, came up and obviously confirmed that they are really going in for Viktor Gyokeres, and he's the chosen one ahead of Alexandra Isak. Let's see close to 300 likes much this video. I know how big you people are really waiting in for Viktor Gyokeres, and you know how this is obviously going to be happening into the mix. Obviously, I'm going to be digging deep a little bit into what Arteta really had to say about this beautiful encounter, and then we'll obviously have to see what Nacho Monreal went ahead obviously say about this big encounter between Arsenal and Real Madrid, because he's a former Arsenal player. So, how are you? I know you've missed me, but I've gonna hit obviously drop this one, and I know you'll obviously love it to the fullest. Now, transfer.com have come up and obviously told us that Gyokeres' entry will be in attendance. Gyokeres' entourage will be in attendance at the Emirates Stadium today night to watch Arsenal versus Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League. The report claims that the Gunners have stepped up their interest in the Sporting CP striker following the appointment of the new sporting director, and that was told to us by none other than David Austin. Then they went ahead to obviously add on the following, and they said that Bartha is leading the charge for Gyokeres, who has been identified as his top striker target for the summer transfer window. The Italian wasn't afraid to splash the cash on strikers during his time. Atletico Madrid spending big on the likes of Felix and very many other players, and this guy is not afraid. So Arsenal have brought in sporting director who has history of spending big on transfers. So this is the guy they've gone ahead obviously show up, and he goes by the names of Viktor Gyokeres. You understand? So Viktor Gyokeres is obviously doing a very big job, and he's really trying to obviously see to it that all goes on well as planned for the club of Sporting Lisbon, and then later goes to the club of Arsenal. So I told you that most of the clubs, the club that was an ideal destination for Viktor Gyokeres was Manchester United, and Arsenal knows to it that it's the blocking factor, but they cannot sign him now, not until they play into the finals of the UEFA Europa League, if at all they go there, because on Thursday they have to obviously first face off with a team called Lyon. Now, if they happen not to really reach that side, then it will be hard for them to go for him. But Arsenal is like, in football everything is possible. It can happen one day, and United can obviously go out to obviously sign to really win the UEFA Europa League, and they can obviously come up and really go ahead and really get in money to sign this player, because the moment they win the Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, that means they will be 100% sure of Champions League football money, and that means they can even go and borrow money to bring in players, because they know they can compensate that into the second year of this transfer, the financial fair play transfer quarter. You know, it always happens in 3 years, and this is the first year, meaning that a club can spend hugely as they want. And it's also it that at Manchester United, when Erik ten Hag came in, that was the first year of the 3 years, and it's also it that they spent hugely into that first year with Casemiro, Anthony, they brought in Malacia, who else was brought in? They brought in close to 5 players in there, and I think only one, Eriksson, was really a free agent. Then they had to bring in Lisandro Martinez too. Then in the second year of that phase, they had to bring in players like Rasmus Højlund. They brought in Onana, they brought in Mason Mount. Who else came in? You know, Amrabat was signed on loan. You get and I think until Ben the year. You understand? But you saw to it that in the third year, or the final year of that 3-year financial fair play period, you know what happened? They struggled to bring in players. That's why they had to sell to buy. Now, after balancing off their books, they are now in good terms. And though they don't have a lot of money, going to the Champions League will obviously bolster their income to the next level. And if at all it takes them to the next level, you know what happens. The side of Manchester United will be really going in for Viktor Gyokeres. And if at all United is playing the Champions League, Ruben Amorim will have all the audacity to convince this guy to come in through. That's why Arsenal is acting quick to obviously get this deal over the line. To say to it that by even the time United plays into the UEFA Europa League, if at all they reach there, the deal is done and dusted. They've gone ahead to do the background work, and they might even sign and agree a contract with the player and also with Sporting Lisbon, because his fee is 100% known. So that's why they are in there tonight, and they know to it that they have to get this deal out of the way to obviously stop this player from joining Manchester United, because it's Ruben Amorim that made him the star he is, and he cannot say no to him. But without Champions League football, Arsenal will have a better offer to this guy than Manchester United. If United qualifies to the Champions League, they'll be having another big offer, and things won't obviously go on as planned. That is the man known as Andre Bartha, and he's going to be meeting with the agent of Viktor Gyokeres. So Viktor Gyokeres is really going to be having his agent at the Emirates in the stand to see to it that all goes on well as planned. So we're here to wait and see how the cameras are obviously gonna be doing the needful. And we've been told that his agent is known as Hassan Setinkaya. You know, that he's his agent. He's his representative, and he's Hassan Atinkaya, and Sentinkaya will be seen whether he's obviously gonna be doing the needful to see to it that all goes on well as planned. Hassan Setinkaya is a former footballer. He was playing for Sweden, and he was playing in the midfield. He works as a sports agent and a CEO of HCM Sports. You understand? Representing Frank de Jong, Viktor Gyokeres, and very many others. So he's a man who is really good at his job. You can really understand that he is really that good, because you can't represent quality of player like Frank de Jong when you don't know business, because Frank de Jong, where he is, he earns close to 400,000 euros a week. That is how good this agent is. Now, let's leave it at that, but we are still staying into the Madrid Arsenal match sphere. We've been told, Arteta was asked yesterday on if Saka is fit to start. He said he's in a much better place. Gradually, we have built his minutes in the last 6 or 7 days. He's coped with that really well, and he's in good place to be able to be used. So he confirmed to us that Bukayo Saka is obviously going to be starting. And if at all you watched my match preview yesterday, I went ahead to obviously bring you that probable starting 11, and this guy was there, because I noted that he was benched for 2 games, played I think 20-30 minutes in the first game where they beat Fulham by 2-1, and he scored a goal. In the game they played over the weekend, where they drew 1-1 with the side of Everton, he played 45 minutes, and that means he's ready to take on some 60-70 minutes into this encounter. And it will depend on the game situation, where the manager will be willing to obviously bring him off to bring in Waneri or not. But the fact is, the player is fit to start. Now, Nacho Monreal has come out and obviously had the following to say: who worries me the most from Real Madrid? So that's the question that was posed to him, that who worries him the most. He said, if Vini does not have a good game, Mbappe could have one. If Rodri does not do well, Brahim Diaz or Bellingham can. The game against Real Sociedad was decided by Rudiger and Tchouaméni. Then he said, the whole team must be focused on. So he's like, Arsenal should focus on every player. They shouldn't single out a player to see to it that they obviously mark him out and get him out of the game. But he's telling them that Arsenal should focus on every player. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. What do you think about Viktor Gyokeres' agent gonna be at the Emirates tonight? And you can as well tell me your prediction. I'm gonna be coming in with the live when the fixtures are really out. Rokani David remains my name. I'm out. Bye bye.